Hi guys, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel where we focus on early game and mid game stuff. Today is quite the glorious day because I have managed to do Nightmare Clan Boss. I wasn't sure if this was actually possible. I was really struggling like around 5 days ago because I felt like I might not have enough damage on my team, but I was able to finish Nightmare Clan Boss on a 4 keys. I'm actually surprisingly close to be able to do it on 3 keys by now. And the reason that happened, there's 2 reasons for this. Well, the big one is Morag. I got Morag. She gives me ally attack, which is great, amazing. And she also gives me strengthen. And that really made this team come together. This extra buff. We have increased defense, but on a 4 turn we have ally protection from Verges, and then we have Morag with the strengthen. And that really made me able to survive longer than 20 turns consistently, which is what I did on this team. This might be a bit misleading though, because we did around 15 million on this team, but that was because this is a force rotation. I was very lucky that we got force right here. Otherwise, I would do, like this is the numbers for Void. 1 key was 11.8, one was 11.2. So we do around 11.5 million, which still gives us a little cushion in case we do less damage later on. But if the affinity would have switched to Spirit or to Magic, the results would have been worse, for sure. On Spirit, Lemnisci doesn't do as great damage because her damage comes from Brimstone and she's landing weak hits against Spirit. And on Magic, my Spirit champions would really suffer. They would take strong hits and they would really suffer and die earlier probably. Why do I think that this team is definitely going to be able to do Nightmare consistently? Even though I haven't seen the affinity rotations yet and I haven't tried Magic and Spirit. That's mainly because I have not utilized everything that this team can easily give me and easily do damage-wise. Morag isn't counter-attacking yet. Morag is going to counter-attack when I get her 3-star Ascended. Lemnisci is going to get her 5-star Brimstone Blessing tomorrow. That means 60% chance of landing Brimstone on every hit. And that means even if she does land a few weak hits, she's still going to land that Brimstone very, very often and very consistently. And then, Tu'Hanurak only has 4 books, only has 1 book on her A3, meaning she has a 4-turn cooldown. If I get her increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown, my survivability is going to be much more consistent and the team is probably going to survive longer, more often. And then we have general stats. We have Deacon and Lemnisci not being level 60 and even Tu'Hanurak not being level 60. We haven't ascended everybody. The gear is going to get better over time. I don't even have proper accessories on most of my champions. My champions have a lot of areas where they can still improve. Alright, that being said, I thought about talking about free-to-play now, but I think I'll do that a little later. By the way, this video might be a bit not all over the place, but I will be switching between different topics. I hope you can bear with me. I hope this still makes sense. Right, I thought about talking about free-to-play right now because I have spent a little bit of money on this account, but in my opinion, that has not had the craziest impact, and this method that I did is definitely free-to-play viable. Definitely, in my opinion. Alright, but I think I'll talk about that a little later. Let me first talk about what I did in order to get to this point. I have done this, I have talked about this in a previous video, if you want to check that out. It's a bit more detailed in there, but I will try to give you a proper overview in this one so that you will be able to understand what I did. It's basically just 2 things. First, I did campaign, then I did Minotaur's Labyrinth on stage 15. So if you want to do campaign, the first champion that you need is your farmer. Obviously for me that was Bellower. You can all get him from a promo code if you want to. A permanent promo code. Made a video about this, but you can just Google it as well. Yeah, get him to 60. His gear I got from the Apprentice Pass, the free version. Then I got a bit better gear for him later on, also from the Apprentice Pass. You get lifesteal gear 2 times. If you don't get proper gear, like if it isn't great, just farm from campaign. This is a very important tip that, you know, is important for all of your champions. If you don't have gear with the proper substats, for example, crit rate on your gloves for your farmer, speed on the boots, and attack percent on the chest, just go to campaign, look at what set you need from campaign. For example, Bellower needs lifesteal, and everybody's going to profit from speed. So these are, in general, the two sets I do still farm a bit from campaign in the beginning. Valdemar Straits, stage 8, gives you lifesteal. Just look for gloves, crit rate, or whatever you need, and speed boots. And the same thing I do from the Palace of Aravia at the beginning. Bello is actually a pretty great example for this because he has crit rate from campaign. Who else? Somebody, right. Vergis has boots, and he's the best example. He has boots and chest from farming campaign. So that's a great thing to do. What do you need after your campaign farmer? You need champions that are strong enough to survive in Minotaur's Labyrinth. Luckily, with the promo codes and the download links, these days that's not a big problem. In the past, this wasn't possible. For me, Vergis and Tuhanarak really made this easy. I had to get Vergis to rank 6, Tuhanarak was still rank 5. I put those two together with my campaign farmer Bellower, and I was able to do stage 15 of Minotaur's Labyrinth super quickly. If you don't have these two, if you have other champions, just throw in some supports. Take Bellower or whoever is your campaign farmer and do campaign and improve your champions and do campaign for as long as it takes to make your team strong enough to do Minotaur's Labyrinth. I did that, and then I think it was Deacon in the beginning and Leminisi who I just threw into that team, and then I started farming Minotaur's Labyrinth. And I did it for a long time. Tedious. I do have to tell you, this method is tedious, but it is, in my opinion, the most efficient way that you can get your team to 60, 60 to rank 6, and that you can upgrade and get a team together that is able to do clan boss and obviously other content as well very early in this game. You will progress quickly, even though it doesn't feel like that in the beginning, because you just see, you know, Minotaur's Labyrinth, and your masteries are not really going to help you until you get War Master. Going to help you a bit. You are going to progress the quickest, in my opinion, because as soon as your champions are 60 and you have War Master, you're good to go. And also you're going to use your energy as efficiently as you can. There is only 2 places that you can farm at maximum efficiency early in the game. That's campaign, and these days it's actually Minotaur's Labyrinth. Right. That being said, I did 2 more things just for maximum efficiency. I did get 3 stars on every stage in campaign. This is actually crucial on Brutal because you will get 3 legendary tomes, which you will want to put into your legendary champion, into your main legendary champion. For me, that was Tuhanarak. And right, I did that with my campaign farmer again, and either Vergis or Tuhanarak, you know, slotting them in, always just using these 2 champions in order to get through campaign. And alongside that, do the missions. Do the missions in the beginning. They will give you 300 gems, and they just want you to do some stuff on the side and progress through campaign. So that's going to be something that you can do relatively easily. Just be not patient, be focused on your missions. Like don't lose them out of your eyes. My English is leaving me. You know what I mean, I hope. All right, that is the method. That is what I did. Like I said, a bit tedious. I didn't focus on clan boss. I didn't focus on arena, at least not on building a proper team. And that is weird in the beginning, and it really takes away some of the fun, to be honest. but it means you're going to progress in the most efficient way. And from now on, the great thing is I will be able to do fusions with the resources I get from Nightmare Campaign. I can now I'm very, very confident I'll be able to do stage 20 on Dragon, for example. And yeah, very similar in all of the places. I will be, because of Lemnisci, partly because of Lemnisci, but partly just because my team is strong, I will be able to do the potion keeps on a very high level. I'm kind of hoping for level 20, but we'll see. She actually has a great kit for the potion keeps. And that's going to be very efficient as well, to put my energy into there. Alright, I think now it is time to talk about free-to-play versus being a spender. My account is actually a pretty decent example for this. I am a spender, even though a low spender, but I did buy the Apprentice Pass in the beginning, I did buy the Daily Gem Pack in the beginning, and I bought one pack that gave me 2 Legendary Tomes, 2 5-star chickens, 100 gems, and 4 Void Shards, which I still have. Right, so let's see how that has impacted my account. Let's first talk about the things that really haven't impacted my method. First, gems. I think that's the biggest question. I still have 2,000 gems, as you can see. The gem pack, which I've bought, brought me around 1,700 gems up to this point. Where is it? There it is. It's 2,250, I think. As you can see, there's 200, 4 times 60, 240, 440 gems I can still collect if my math isn't wrong. I did it in advance, so it should be right. So that means like around, and then the 100 gems I got from the pack, so let's say around 1,500 gems, which I got from being a spender. But I did spend 1,500 here for longevity reasons, and also 1,200 right here. So that means 2,700 spent, 2,800 spent, 2,700 spent, sorry, and which exceeds my the amount of gems that I got from spending money. So actually, what this should say, if I would be free to play, it should actually say 3,000 gems right now. It feels weird to me, but that's what it is. It's pretty crazy. You do get a lot of gems in the beginning of this game. We do have to keep in mind, though, the gem mine gives me 15 gems a day, I think, round about that, and that has been going on for 20 days. So that's also actually quite a bit, like that's 300 gems. So maybe I should be at 2,700. But yeah, all right, let's not make this too complicated. I was already thinking about something else, but never mind. Let's make this 2,700. In any case, I got from the Apprentice Pass 5 chickens, and then from that pack I bought 2 chickens, meaning 7 chickens overall, which definitely made it easier and quicker for me to progress. But on the other hand, if I would have used these gems, that would have probably gotten me close to those 7 chickens. Maybe not all the way, but I feel like it would have probably gotten me close. So there go the chickens. It's obviously not great. Or it would mean that you couldn't have to upgrade your gem mine early on and your guardian ring as well. You couldn't do that if you wanted to get onto my level, basically onto my speed of progression. So that's that. The chickens are not necessary. The legendary books. I bought 2 legendary books. Luckily for this example, they didn't go into the A3 of Tu'Hanarok. There is only 1 book in there, and that is still kind of free to play because you get 3 books from campaign and also books from doing champion training events, which I obviously always did. You know, I did Minotaur's Labyrinth as soon as I could, but when there was a champion training tournament going on, I did that, got the legendary tome, which is usually the highest reward, and put that into her. I even waited to put this legendary book into her just to make this as still free to play as possible at this stage of my channel. Right, so we had that. The void shards are still there. We talked about the chicken. Now comes what I feel like is going to have the biggest impact, and that is gear. Buying the Apprentice Pass, like I haven't used Rector Draft yet. She's also from the Apprentice Pass. But then you do get a couple of smaller resources as well from the Apprentice Pass. You do get Force Potions, which was nice to ascend Lemnisci. But at this point, I could just go into the Potion Keep and farm them. In case I wasn't able to ascend her in order to get her the soul on her, and in order to put this amulet on her. You see, like that's what I meant when I said this was going to be all over the place, probably. All right, and then gear. Gear does make a difference. You do get quite a bit, like not crazy numbers, as you will see, not crazy numbers of immortal gear, but you will get some immortal gear from the Apprentice Pass. A lot of this is from Clan Boss as well. That is definitely going to help. But if you don't get that gear, you will still be able to do this method, in my opinion. I don't have proof though. I don't have proof for this. It will always depend on what you get from the different, from the Apprentice Pass and from Clan Boss. If you got proper substats, if you got proper main stats, you will be able to farm decent gear, as you can see on my verges. At least in the bottom row from campaign, like I said. But that is, I think, the biggest uncertainty that I can think of that free-to-play is going to face. I still believe this is doable, even if you have worse gear, even at this stage, and you attack Clan Boss. There is so many things. I talked about the things I can do, or I will be able to get, in order to more damage to the Clan Boss. So even if your Verges isn't as survivable and has 3000 defense, even if your Morak doesn't have this kind of gear, which I, by the way, got from just being very active in Arena and Tag Arena, and I realize not everybody can do this, but if you don't have this kind of gear, don't put crit rate on her. Just make her survivable and look for the War Master procs. And there is so much stuff, like I said, that this team can still improve on, that I highly, highly think, for me, that's like a 98%, 99.9%, that I feel like this team can do Nightmare Clan Boss, free to play. Right. I hope you can follow what I'm trying to say, and I hope I'm making sense. I really hope so. Let's talk about the team just very briefly. I did take to Hanurak, and this is, I think, very, very beneficial for this method. That being said, this guy, Tagore, he is an absolute beast. An absolute beast. And he is going to help you so much if you've taken a different champion as your promo code champion. If you have taken, for example, Tholin Foulbeard. If you've taken him and you're therefore lacking one strong support, Tagore, he is such an amazing champion. Even though he doesn't give you increased defense, he just gives you an AoE revive. That's such a legendary skill, and places a shield. And he doesn't only place that on revived allies, he places that on everybody. So this is not just an AoE revive, he also uses this in general on all of your allies. Gives you increased speed, heals, increased defense even on your lowest ally champion, and he has mitigations if your champions are below 50%. This guy is an absolute beast. He is crazy. The only reason I haven't built him is because I already have the increased speed roll, and yeah, because I have to Hanurak, basically. Point made. So I think the team composition that you choose obviously has an impact, but with the supports that we get these days, it should be possible to do this without to Hanurak and Verges. You know, you can take other champions. In fact, the last time I did a new account was with Galag and Tagore, and these two, and I think another support champion, were able to do Minotaur's Labyrinth stage 15 as well. You know? Right. I think those were the important things that I should talk about. I just remembered there is the Great Hall. I am actually very active in Arena. I won't be able to be so active in the future, but I have been in the past, which has definitely been beneficial. Getting everything to just the first level is already going to give you 2% across the board. You can see I have chosen to improve certain stats. I'm very much dependent on the needs of my team. It's not going to be crazy impactful, but it's going to help. What is actually going to be more impactful is going to be Arena. As you can see, I have been crazy active. You can progress through Arena just by choosing to do the one enemy battles, and that got me to gold 5 in Arena. So I realize not everybody can do that. But if you are in silver, for example, you already get 12% on all of your stats, on all of your champions. Like I get 22. That is pretty strong, but you know, when you're in silver, you already get this. And staying in silver is actually pretty easy. And consider if you have 1 or 2 or 3 days where you can be very active, and those days are probably going to be enough to get you up 1 tier to stage 14, to get 14%. And then, you know, just stay in there and wait for a bit until you can be active again, or if you want to be active or want to be active again. And then choose 2 or 3 days where you're very active and try to get to the next stage in Arena. That's a way that you can slowly but surely progress. But I feel like if you get 12% on all of your stats, HP, attack, and defense, that is going to be a very decent, and it is not going to be the end of the world if you don't progress through Arena just for these stats, because it is very tedious. Okay, I think that really sums up what I was trying to tell you in this video. At least I hope. If you do have questions, if I forgot anything, please drop it down below. I'm very much looking forward to collecting my first clan boss chest. Yeah, just by the way, looking at what I can do with this account, I'm very close to being able to get my first Hydra. I have been trying a couple of things. I really think that Lemonice's Brimstone is going to help me quite a bit. I am able to do Chimera, easy and normal, at least get some lower chests on both areas. I will try to progress in the dungeons. I feel like Dragon I will be able to do stage 20. Ice Golem, I might have to wait for Rector Drath to be able to do stage 20 just because supports are so beneficial in that area. Spider is a different subject, that's going to be difficult, and Fire Knight, I'm hoping for at least stage 16. Unfortunately, I will not be able to show you this during the next few days. Same with the potion keeps. I will try to see how far I can get in the potion keeps. Like I said, unfortunately, I won't be able to show you just because I am going to be on vacation, on holiday for the next 10 days, which I'm very much looking forward to. I just won't be able to upload any videos. I will surely progress further with this account, but yeah, I won't be able to upload as much as I have done, even though I think the last 3 days I wasn't able to upload either. Right. I think that's it. I guess from now on I would just be rambling on and talking about the future of this channel and what you can expect from this channel, even only in the next few weeks and days, but also in the long term. I think I'll make a small separate video about that. Until then, I hope this was helpful. I hope this might have been, well, inspiring would probably be too much, but I hope it has been helpful. And I also hope you have a great day and you're doing great, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.